The Department of Justice has approved T-Mobile's takeover of rival Sprint. The $26 billion deal will create the third largest wireless network in the country behind AT&T and Verizon. Under the terms of the deal, satellite TV provider Dish is buying Sprint's prepaid cell phone brands, including Boost and Virgin Mobile, creating a fourth wireless provider. Ajit Pai, the head of the Federal Communications Commission, which oversees wireless companies in the United States, signaled support for the deal. And in a statement, the Department of Justice said, today's settlement will provide Dish with the assets and transitional services required to become a mobile network operator that can provide a full range of mobile wireless services nationwide. Joining me from New York is Daniel Howley. He is the tech editor for Yahoo Finance. Daniel, are consumers winners or losers in this deal? What would it mean for them?
It's still very much up in the air as to whether or not consumers are going to make out on this. The thing about T-Mobile and Sprint is that they really helped transform the wireless industry. They made it so that we brought back unlimited contracts, unlimited data, which was something that was canceled previously, and helped eliminate those two-year contracts that previously consumers here in the U.S. had to stick by. Now you can purchase a phone outright and move between different carriers. That really wasn't something that was very widely available before T-Mobile and Sprint decided to take that up. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep similar practices like that moving forward, and if they're willing to buck the standard industry trends that are so entrenched with Verizon and AT&T.
13 state attorneys general are still suing over this proposed merger, saying this would cost consumers $4.5 billion annually and is anti-competitive. Does the Justice Department's approval, though, hurt their case?
It could, yes, but they're still going to go forward with this suit. They actually had some of the attorneys general side with the DOJ rather. So it really does seem like it's a shot to their suit, but it's not necessarily dead on arrival, despite the DOJ moving forward with the deal.
What promises did T-Mobile make to the government in order to get their blessing?
So essentially what has to happen now is T-Mobile and Sprint will obviously have to divest themselves of their prepaid offerings. That's Sprint Mobile, Boost Mobile, and Virgin. They'll also have to give a section of their wireless spectrum to Dish. Now that means that it'll allow the company to build out its wireless spectrum. It'll also have to receive some towers from Sprint and T-Mobile for a set period of time, as well as physical stores. So there's a lot that they have to do here, and they really are building out a new carrier. So it's not something that can happen overnight from Dish's own use. They really need Sprint and T-Mobile to help them build it up.
Daniel, I think a lot of consumers are scratching their heads trying to understand this merger. How does this reshape the telecommunications landscape in this country?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How does this change the landscape in this country for telecommunications, this merger?
It could really change it drastically. I mean, right now, Verizon's the largest carrier. AT&T is second. They're pretty close. Verizon's also the most expensive. So T-Mobile and Sprint have been very good options for a lot of people who might not necessarily have the cash to fork over for a monthly plan. That's why they had those prepaid offerings from Sprint as well as T-Mobile. So this could be a drastic change. It'll also be interesting to see how well the service is from Dish. I mean, these companies, Sprint and T-Mobile, have been around for quite a while. Dish doesn't have any experience running a carrier on its own. You'll assume that they'll get some help from T-Mobile and Sprint just because they want to make sure that the merger works, but we're not really certain how much this will have an impact on overall quality, and it'll be interesting to see how initial users react to it and if they're willing to ditch it and then just go right back to the new Sprint T-Mobile tie-up.
Daniel Howley, thank you very much for your time.